Hello, second graders. Today you're going to do some cause and effect, it's called. So you're going to read two different sentences and try to put them together to make sense. All right. So your sheets are stapled together in the corner. Cause, effect. You're going to have your name at the top. That's the first thing. And then you're going to take that second paper and rip it off. And you see the scissors on this one. I don't want you to cut each square out. So listen carefully to what I want you to do, okay? On this side, you see letters in the corner of these cards. I just want you to cut all the way up on the dotted line like this. So you have a whole strip, and it's A, B, C, D, E, and F. Got that? You're going to do the same thing with the next ones over because they also have letters on them. So you're going to just cut all the way up one big long strip. Now you have G, H, I, J, K, L. If you put them together, you have the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. And you're going to leave these just like this. Set those aside. The ones that the letters on them are off to the side now. Now you are going to cut these squares out. These have to be cut into each square. So you can start by cutting all the way up again, just like we did on the last two. So you have two big long strips like this, and then you just cut on the dotted line under each box. These don't have to be perfect. They just have to be cut apart. Okay? I don't want to see a whole bunch of scraps. So this one has a big spot underneath it. You don't need to cut that. Just leave it. You're just going to make sure that they're all cut into squares. All right? I dropped one of mine, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. Why don't you pause your video right now, and you pause it by touching your screen. Start it back up when you're ready to go on to the next step. Okay, you have all of your squares cut apart. You have those first two strips with the letters on them. You have them still in strips, not cut apart. And this is the part where we start putting two sentences together. So on letter A, it says, I touched a hot pan. Okay. Now look at the ones that you cut apart into different squares. They don't have letters on them. But do you think I touched a hot pan? So I need an umbrella. Does that make sense? So the ones that don't have letters on them have the glue bottles on them. So you're putting scissors with glue bottles is what you're going to be doing. And you can use this joining word, either so or therefore. And you see those two words on your paper right here. So or therefore. So you would put that letter A over here. I touched a hot pan. So I used an umbrella, or I need an umbrella, or no, I used an umbrella. That doesn't make sense. So we need to find a different glue bottle. I touched a hot pan, therefore it was dark outside. That doesn't make sense. I touched a hot pan. So you still have I touched a hot pan So I got to open presents. That doesn't make sense. I touched a hot pan. Therefore, I burned my hand. Does that make sense? That makes sense. So you're going to find the glue bottle that says, I burned my hand, and you're going to put it right on top of that A, I touched a hot pan. Those are a match. Okay? So then you go on to letter B, the cause. The cause is the sunset. Okay? That is the sunset. All right. What would happen if the sun set? Therefore, I was hungry. Does that make sense? Not really. The sun set, so I got to open presents. Boy, that'd be nice if the sun set and I got to open presents every day. No, that doesn't happen. The sun set, so it busted and made a big mess. I don't think so. No. The sun set, therefore, it was dark outside. Those two make sense together. So you're going to put this one on top of your letter B strip, on your strip, and move on to the next one. It says the fence was open. What happens when the fence is open? Let's see. I'm just going to read some of these other ones so that you can put some of them together on your own. We read this one already. It busted and made a huge mess. Now that one doesn't make sense for the fence was open. Or the opening presents one. I got to open presents. The fence was open, so I was hungry. No. The fence was open, so I got a bad grade. No, that doesn't make sense. The fence was open, so I got sunburned. No, that doesn't make sense. Oh, how about this one? The fence was open, I laughed out loud. I don't think so. How about this one? The fence was open, the dog ran out of the yard. If the fence is open, could the dog run out of the yard? I think that would make sense. So you're going to put this glue bottle on top of C. Okay, so now we've read almost all of the ones that don't have letters on them. So this should make it easier for you to figure out which ones you need to get. Letter D says it was raining outside. Ooh, I think you need to find that one about the umbrella, right? Where is that one? The one with the umbrella. It was raining outside, so I used an umbrella. Those two would go together. Okay. Next one. I didn't eat breakfast. Which one would make sense for that? Would it be the sunburned one? Probably not. How about the presents one? So I got to open presents? No, I don't think so. How about, so I was hungry? That makes sense. If you don't eat breakfast, you're going to be hungry. Put it together. Okay. All right, keep looking. Ooh, I dropped my glass. What happens when you drop a glass? I think we talked about this one when the sun was setting, remember? It busted and made a huge mess. Put those two together. Okay. Now we're on to G. It was my birthday. What do you do on your birthday sometimes? It was my birthday, so I was late for school. That doesn't make sense. It was my birthday. I got to open presents. All right. Okay, so you have 5 more left. I'm going to read them. H says, I woke up late. I says, I didn't do my homework. J says, I forgot to put on sunscreen. K says, he dropped an egg on the floor. And the last one says, my dad told a funny joke. So you're going to find the ones that go with those. And then the very last thing you have to do is write your favorite one on the line. You have to write the 2 sentences on the line and either put so or therefore in the middle of those 2 sentences. All right, that's your job.